When making a long-term profitable trade, you typically want to see price going down and fundamentals exponentially increasing because eventually price will catch up to the fundamental value of whatever asset you're looking at. And in this case, we're talking about Bitcoin in the rapidly growing fundamentals behind the scenes. And meanwhile, Bitcoin is still down quite a lot from all-time highs that we set on the 10th of November of 2021. We're still down 35% from all-time highs. And meanwhile, the fundamentals are quickly growing. And before I jump into some of the most major companies taking a serious position in crypto, I want to just look at another thing, which is on-chain metrics, which is more of a fundamental type of approach that's combining also on a technical level. So what we're looking at here is the exchange net position change of Bitcoin. And when you see a lot of green here, that means that people are moving Bitcoin onto exchanges. And why would they move Bitcoin onto a place where it's less secure? They move there to potentially sell it. So anytime you see a lot of green, you will typically see a ton of green when the price of Bitcoin is going way up, because the smart money is usually selling into the price rising. Now you've seen a ton of green all the way up until about, where it started to level off in January 22nd of 2020. Okay. And now we've seen just quite a lot of red recently. Look how much green there used to be relative to red. And what this shows is this massive amount of red here is an absurd amount of Bitcoin moving off of exchanges into cold wallets where it cannot be sold quickly. And that is a fundamental thing that you want to look at, because the more red you see on this chart, the more conviction there is in the market, because people are moving Bitcoin to a place where it's safer, but it's not, you can't easily transact it. So obviously they have a ton of conviction and confidence in the asset doing well long term. So this is not like a short term thing that you're looking at where you want to hit a leverage trade. This is something that's a longer term, fundamental, really important piece of Bitcoin to understand where the supply is moving to and understanding why it's moving to those places. And it's quite obvious that it's moving to places where it cannot be sold quickly because people believe that the asset is the hardest money and it's going to continue to go up. And you can see just how much red we have seen over the past few weeks. We're almost hitting the third all-time high for the amount of Bitcoin that's moving off of exchanges into cold wallets. So that's really a big deal. And to further move into real fundamentals, we have an exceptional amount of fundamental news, which is a really big deal for Bitcoin right before the Bitcoin conference. And actually, I'm about to head there in literally 30 minutes. So usually they announce some really important information. There's some rumors going around that potentially Apple is investing billions of dollars into Bitcoin, but we'll see if that actually gets announced. That's just a rumor for right now. But this is not a rumor, which is the Apple Wallet upgrade will enable merchants to accept crypto with the tap of an iPhone. So they're connecting cryptocurrency wallets so you can take your iPhone and pay for a smoothie at a smoothie shop with Apple Pay. And that is a huge deal. They're using their own proprietary software that's going to pull the cryptocurrency. I'm sure it's going to likely either convert it to fiat, or certain merchants are going to actually start to accept the cryptocurrencies, and then they decide what they want to do with it, if they want to hold it in that same asset, or if they want to convert it to a different currency. They would be able to do that. But either way, it's happening because the demand for merchants and the consumers that are also purchasing products is massive. Okay, it's about 25% of those surveyed plan to accept crypto as a form of payment this year, while more than 70% of respondents said accepting new forms of payment would be fundamental to their business growth. And I can tell you, as a business owner, we have more than 45 employees in one of our companies, and we accept cryptocurrency, and it really helps, to be honest, because a lot of our business revolves around cryptocurrency, and people want to transact in crypto, and it's just way quicker. We can get a large payment over the weekend instead of having to wait for a wire transfer, paying wire fees. All of a sudden the bank marks it as fraudulent, so now it takes 2 more days. There's so many types that just in general payments needs to change, and crypto is already fostering that change, which is really important. But to see one of the largest tech companies in the entire world making it and tying it directly into their Apple Pay, that is a huge deal to see Apple taken it that seriously, where they're now opening up to anyone to be able to buy crypto and then also transact with crypto with merchants. So massive deal. Another massive deal is Goldman Sachs further taking crypto really seriously. They've already opened up a crypto trading desk, and they just executed the first OTC trade, and it's an options trade. So they're using it for their clients to be able to hedge. So that usually you're typically using leverage to either hedge against bearish price action or to increase the return on any given trade. And they're doing that by partnering with one of the biggest companies in crypto, which is Galaxy Digital. So you can just see that Goldman is furthermore taking it even more seriously by opening up another division and transacting with one of the largest crypto companies in the entire world, which is Galaxy Digital. So furthermore, one of the most reputable investment banks in the world is now furthermore taking crypto extremely seriously and opening up more services to their clients. So it just shows the momentum is heading in the right direction for mass adoption. And an even bigger note is BlackRock, which is the largest asset manager. They have about 11 trillion. That's 11 trillion with a T under management. Okay. And they are actually, Larry Fink, the CEO, is now going back on what he used to say about cryptocurrency, about it being a fraud and whatever. I'm not going to quote him because I honestly don't know his exact verbiage, but he used to not have positive things to say about it. And now he is officially opening it up to his clients. And the reason is because the clients are demanding it. So it's quite obvious if you as a bank or as an investment firm or even as a merchant, crypto is going to revolutionize a lot of different industries. But if you do not accept the adoption and change that's happening right now, you are very likely to be behind the curve and likely go out of business because, ultimately the consumers have the power because they are the ones that pay the companies. And if the companies are not willing to do what the consumers want, then they're going to go elsewhere. So this mass adoption is starting to happen. And you're seeing the largest asset manager in the entire world, okay, 11 trillion under management. BlackRock is now opening up cryptocurrency investments to their clients, which is huge. All of cryptocurrency, by the way, has a 2 trillion market cap. So they have a 5x multiple on under management relative to how much all of the money in cryptocurrency there is. So 5x more money than all of cryptocurrency combined. That is a huge, huge deal. MicroStrategy is now buying, once again, more Bitcoin. This should be as no surprise because they hold about 6 billion, I think it is, on their balance sheet. And what's crazy is MicroStrategy actually has more value in their Bitcoin than their market cap of their stock. So I actually think that like on a price to book valuation, I think MicroStrategy is actually undervalued because the business also produces a lot of cash flow and is profitable. But they hold more Bitcoin. The market cap of Bitcoin that they hold is worth more than the market cap of their entire stock and company, which is crazy. But they've been purchasing more Bitcoin. They released another raise through. They issued some bonds, and they've bought another 190 million. I think it was actually over 200 million in Bitcoin, which is another like 4,100 Bitcoin that they've added to their balance sheet. So now they own 129,000 Bitcoin, which is at an aggregate purchase price of 3.97 billion, which I believe it's gone up because they paid about 30,000. So I think it's right around like 5 or 6 billion that they have on the balance sheet, which is crazy. Another huge deal is the Luna Foundation. So if you guys don't know about the Luna Foundation, it is a foundation that is stacking up reserves for its stablecoin UST. So there is a stablecoin, and then it's a decentralized stablecoin. This is the first decentralized stablecoin that's really getting a lot of traction. It's called UST, and then I'm gonna show you how much growth it's had recently here in just 1 minute. But the UST is the first decentralized stablecoin that is having mass adoption and getting listed on all of the major centralized exchanges, such as Binance, Coinbase, KuCoin. All the major exchanges are now listing UST as a stablecoin. And traditionally, these stablecoins like USDC, USDT, they'll hold at least some amount of US dollars behind to actually peg that stablecoin against the US dollar. Well, now the UST is actually, instead of holding US dollars in reserves, they're holding Bitcoin in reserves. So they're just made a huge transition where now they are purchasing 125 million Bitcoin per day until they reach 100 or excuse me 10 billion of Bitcoin in reserves. And right now, I think they have like 1.6 billion. Yeah, they have 1.6 billion at a price of 45,000 per Bitcoin. So they have about 35,000 Bitcoin in their reserves, which is backing their stablecoin. This is a really, really big deal because this is a huge fundamental shift of what stablecoins have always been known to be, because now they're switching from a US dollar standard to a Bitcoin standard. So that is completely saying US dollar, you can go to the side. We are moving to a decentralized economy where we want to use Bitcoin as that asset, as that more store of value type asset that is going to peg against stable coins. And the stable coins are just there so that people can transact quicker and have more stability to the price. So it's not like they're taking all of the UST reserves and going into Bitcoin right now, because UST is actually worth 16 billion right now. But it's been a huge major shift, and it has a fundamental it has an inverse relationship with the supply of Luna. But if you look at UST, so this is the price, obviously, but if we look at the market cap and we look how much UST has grown in adoption, it's just been exponential since November 6th of 2021. So we're just seeing exponential growth in the adoption of UST, which means they have to mint new UST. So it's going through a transitional period where it's transitioning from pegging to the US dollar to now pegging to Bitcoin. And it'll be interesting to see how that affects the volatility of UST. I'm not sure how that is going to work in the future, but it is a really important fundamental shift that is happening right before our eyes. And it's had a massive impact on the price of Luna because, once again, it is inversely related to the supply of Luna. So every $1 they mint in UST, they actually burn $1 of Luna. And that is exactly why that Luna has been on an absolute tear to hit an all-time high of $117 yesterday. So this is pretty much the only coin that is at all-time highs. I'm sure there's some low cap exceptions, but there's pretty much nothing else is pretty continuously hitting all-time highs right now, except for Luna, which is, again, a big deal because Luna's market cap doesn't even have to grow for the price of the coin to go up because it's highly deflationary, and they've burned like $250 million worth, or not dollars, 250 million of the Luna token, because they used to have $1 billion, and they're continuously burning it because of that inverse relationship. When UST goes up, the supply of Luna goes down. So huge fundamental news. I hope you guys understand what is happening right before our eyes. There is mass adoption going on in cryptocurrency with the most respected banks, asset managers, tech companies. I mean, it's just completely obvious. I don't know how people do not see the wave that is just starting to come. It's not even like, Bitcoin and crypto is at a 2 trillion market cap. Apple is well above. Apple is worth more than all of the money in cryptocurrency. And you just saw one of the asset managers, BlackRock, with 11 trillion under management. I mean, that's more than a 5x of what the crypto market cap is worth. And like stocks are over 100 trillion, gold's over 11 trillion, real estate's over 300 trillion. Meanwhile, crypto is at 2 trillion. So the people that say it's too late to buy Bitcoin, to get into crypto, actually it's a little bit early, which is what you want to look for. Once again, is what I was saying is it's super important to understand that, hey, when price is going down, but fundamentals are growing and they're very, very strong, that's a recipe for massive price appreciation in the future. So anyways, hope you got value from this video. Let me know what you think about all this fundamental news. Really curious, honestly, as to what you guys think about the new stable coin being backed, UST being, backing it with Bitcoin. Do you think that's good or bad? Do you think it's going to affect the volatility of UST? Really actually curious to hear your opinion on that. And once again, thank you so much for watching this channel. Put a lot of time and energy and effort into this industry and into this channel as well, and really appreciate your support. And if you haven't subscribed, I hope to earn that subscribe from you here shortly. And I hope to also see you here on this next video. Talk soon.